Sir, let me start. Today's program. Good evening to everyone. I am Saravanan, Puducherry Charter President, and here we have the current President of Puducherry Subchapter, Mr. Sendil Kumar, and we have Vijay Bhaskar, who is the mentor who basically initiated the Pondicherry Subchapter to start up. So we all are here. Thank you for everyone joining this program. We now request Mr. Muralidharan to have a small self-introduction already, which is being circulated, and start the program. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Sendil sir, you can now take it forward.
Yeah, good evening, all of you. I am Murlikant from Chennai
Good evening,
chapter.
sir.
I have a small intro of myself. I am almost 30 years plus experience in various industries, especially HVAC and firefighting systems. In HVAC, my core area has been clean rooms, low humidity systems, and treatment of processed gas from chemical plants. So these are the core areas in various HVAC fields. And when I say clean room, it a lot of interest for me in clean room, especially pharma and hospitals, all those things like that. Now, in this scenario, after the lockdown, especially the COVID, lot of infections has been crawling around everywhere globally. Now, a lot of questions will be in the mind of people: will somebody be affected or not? So, a lot of questions will be there. So, this chapter, this session is basically to give a glimpse of the precautions to be taken post lockdown. Maybe in the another 10 days or 15 days, all businesses must be going in full-fledged conditions. I know somebody might have started the offices also, but I would like to put this way: everybody should take adequate care that the occupants in the room are taken effectively care, so that they don't carry the infection from their body and pass on to others, or vice versa. Because people come from different background, different areas, so we do not know what is the person carrying with him or her. And one more thing is, after a long period, every occupied room shall be having a lot of microbes sitting in it, which can cause a grave problem in the coming days. So this is what I would like to share on this system. Now, various contents: definition of lockdown, water infection sources, possible stagnant points, microbes and colonies, air handling units, cleaning of filters, cleaning of AHOs. These are the main sections we'll be talking in this program. Next page, okay. Definition lockdown. This is a prolonged shutdown of business and establishments within a territory boundary to safeguard the population from potential forces that can harm the life of the population due to nature or man-made error. This is the definition for a lockdown taken from various sources. Okay, I think this meaning is clear to all of you. It's a prolonged shutdown of business establishments within a territory or boundary to safeguard the population from potential forces that can harm the lives of the population due to nature or man-made errors. When you say nature, heavy earthquake, heavy landslide, forest fires, spread of disease currently is COVID-19. In the early days, we had Swiss flu and swine flu and so many other things. And man-made is Bhopal gas tragedy. Recently, we had this LG leakage in Vizag. So, is being affected due to various reasons. The administration forms a procedure to safeguard the livelihood of the people within the boundary. People coming from other sources should not get affected, and people staying in also should not go out and create problem. That is the purpose of a lockdown. Clear to all of you? Now, what happens in a lockdown? Everybody aware, office shut, factories are shut, malls are shut, cinema halls are shut, and so many things. Only in the present scenario, we have some factories like pharma, medical support, food manufacturing, and essential services are being exempted, which are functioning as per the government norms. Health problems post-lockdown. This is the word we'll be mainly talking on. Presently, whole India is under lockdown till further notice. This may be relaxed for some areas in short time from now and others after better recovery. For all these days, factories, mall, offices, neither still are closed. All ACs are switched off. The main source of energy consumer and main source of pure impure air within the conditioned space. What happens if the facility is closed for a long time? What are the possible problems that can come across during the restart after such a long time? This is where we'll be totally talking now. When we go to down the slides, some pictures I'll be showing, sketches, which will be giving a detailed coverage and know-how of how you will be coming to know. Now, these are the various things affects the lockdown. Too much dust accumulation in the AHU, dust, coils, etc. If you lock your house for 15 days or so, go on vacation, when you come back to house, you find a lot of dust is settling. Although doors and windows are closed, but still you don't know where dust is coming from. The same thing happens in your office confined space also. What is the concern? When you start the AHU, all dust will immediately start blowing and cause breathing difficulty. Suppose the person who is there asthma tendency, he'll start sneezing, coughing, like that. So this is what the first thing. And second is humidity and dust form a scale in the AHU, inside duct, and also in the conditioned space. Now, atmosphere already has some moisture inherent in it, inbuilt in it. Now, along with the dust, there's no motion of air in the confined space. It's all stable air and stale air. It also has got some moisture sitting in it. So this dust and moisture will form a fine layer of scales on all the furniture, on the carpet, and everywhere. Now, what will happen to? The dust is always some nutrients in it. These nutrients will promote the growth of fungus, molds, and bacteria, virus, everything. Because, for example, in a human being lives water to live. Same way, these microbes and they also needs water to survive. That is moisture in the air. What else we have? Suppose doors are not closed properly, bird droppings in the AHU room, these are dead rats, lizards, insects, etc. in the AHU room. Again, what will happen? This is again high source of infection because dead rats, you might have heard one disease called plague, which happened around 15 years back, which is called the dead rats. As of now, it is contained, but I'm just telling, for example, these dead rats and dead lizards also can create infection to the healthy people in the confined space. Now, in some areas, you might have return duct is kept open in the AHU room. Through that return duct also, all these insects and elements can go in and create problems. Now, filter in the AHU damage due to rat bites is a very common scene. When the AHU is running, nothing will go in. When it switches off, definitely these will find a opportunity to enter in and damage all the filters. Now, the V-belt. How many people are aware? I don't know. But after stopping the AHU for long hours operation, when you suddenly restart after 15 days or so, the V-belt becomes very hard. If you touch it, it will not be very soft. So when you switch on the AHU, it will break. It's a very, very common thing. Now you run here and there to get a new V-belt. So please go. So this is very, very important. The technician whosoever is going there should also see the V-belt is good and we change all the V-belts also. Just for otherwise, honestly, trouble will be there during operation. AHU drain creates stagnant water for a long time, including the U-trap. Now, these are the source of heavy contaminants which promote bacteria and fungal growth into the confined space. And point number 9 is very, very important. Heavy fungus above false ceiling. See, when the AHU is running, there's always a cold zone above the false ceiling. Okay. You may have return duct or no return duct, whatever it is. But all the false ceilings, especially gypsum tiles, the square grid tiles, they are not leak proof. So what will happen is there will always be a thermal exchange of air between up and down the false ceiling. Because of this, how many moisture is condensed, nobody can evaluate. So all this moisture will be forming small droplets on the grid falls ceiling, on the gypsum falls ceiling, and below the concrete falls ceiling also. So what will happen is when your AC is switched off for some time, already the room was cold enough for a long time. When you restart, the remaining energy, cold energy, which permits condensation, will promote fungus and other things in the falls ceiling. So all these things are very common in any conditioned space. So many people are allergic to this fungus and molds. When you switch on the AHU, everything will come into the room, and especially people with asthma will have a heavy problem with that. And last is the control cables is very important. You don't know, rat bites may be there here and there. When you switch on, it may not work at all. Okay, next slide. Main source of infection: bacteria, virus, fungal, amoeba. Amoeba usually comes in food, but very rarely through air also. But it depends again on the immunity of the person and how the source is coming from. The route of infection into your body through air is through nasal and optical. Optical means you can have eye burns or eye irritation. Nasal, sneezing and coughing. Water and food is digestive. Air and water is skin or some skin allergy. Suppose some fungus is falling on your skin. It may leave some white patches. It can allergy on your skin, especially in footwear, in the between the fingers. Very common. And that into blood injections is very not applicable here, but cut wounds are very applicable. Suppose you have some chappal bites in your shoes or in your fingers, and some people have the habit of removing their footwear in the office. So what are the settling molds can go and sit into the cut injury and create infection. So these are the various sources of infection that can attack a person. If the person is well immune, fine. If it's not well immune, then he have to take leave of 4 or 5 days, and absenteeism, all this will come on. And nasal, cold, cough, pneumonia, bronchitis, asthma is all other things. Optical conjunctivitis and similar allergies. Digestive, typhoid, jaundice, diarrhea. Skin burns like rashes, fungal growth in feet, armpits. So all these things are infection sources that can acquire from the confined space which has been stopped for a long time. Now, how it can affect a person depends on individual hygiene capacity, individual resistance, and what precautions are being taken in the premises so that the people don't have the infection coming onto them. Next, please. Now, these as stagnant points are given below. Normally in operation, normally what have in comfort zone, generally we have 6 to 7 actions per hour. Now, when you have actions per hour, these are the various stagnant space. Air is coming from up and return a grill is there, but near the furniture, near the table, behind the storage rack, and a corner of the room, these are the various stagnation points where the heavy dust and moisture will always find a space to form a layer. Although AC is running, the air changes are very poor. It doesn't give a complete scavenging effect on the entire surface, especially if you're having carpet in the office. It is a more and more problem. Some office may having carpet in the MD room or like that. Those areas are very prone for the stagnation of moisture and dust. Next slide, please. Now, where are the colonies can form? Either in operation or in stop. This red dots are water drops, and this pink are microbes. See, the microbes, all these viruses, microbes, and all, they would like to form a colony like a human beings. Now, human beings, they live in cluster. They live in a village. They live in a housing complex. They live in cluster. Similarly, microbes, they form a colony. Wherever there is a food, they form a colony. For example, if you keep a small piece of jaggery, you find a lot of flies coming and sitting on it. So they are attacked by the food. Similar way, this microbes, wherever there is a source of nutrient, it can be biscuit piece or human beings or anything, they'll form a colony around there. Now, along with moisture, the multiplication of microbes is very conducive. They are multiplied faster in higher moisture and not in dry areas. So normally in conditioned space, you find these colonies sitting here and there. But since they are in motion, the colony formation is poor. But when you stop them, the concentration increases. How increases? Suppose the food is exhausted here, they'll find the next point, then the next point. Like that, keep on hunting for food wherever possible. Like human beings, when you have food shortage, you go from one shop to next shop to next shop. Same way, if for one point is exhausted, they'll try to find the next place of food and start multiplying. Next, please. Now, air handling units. Many of us know this equipment constantly gives filtered air and maintains specified room containing temperature, humidity, of contamination, that is particle size. Where we use them, restaurants, airports, offices, and so many things. After prolonged stoppage, the leftover moisture in the unit plus duct cause growth of microbes. When you stop the air handling unit, there is no airflow. But the dust settle on the filter, the settle on the cooling coil and heating coil and fan body everywhere. Now, many of us have kept the AHUs in the terrace. Now, just imagine if the AHUs are kept in the roof, you find a lot of nutrients coming into the air handling units, like dry leaves or this insects and all. When you stop the AHU, already small dead insects and dry leaves are already in the AHU. They formed a colony on their own. What will happen? All the microbes will start multiplying exponentially. They will multiply very, very fast. So keeping the AHU in the terrace is a very, very big danger. Of course, now we can't do anything. Already systems are working, but extra precaution has to be taken to that area also. Now, suppose you have AHU room, which is not properly closed. What will happen? Again, insects and lizards will come. They'll also form a scale on the filters. See, we are very clear is that why the filters are being a big element for growth, because filter is the person who traps all the moisture, and along with it, he has a moisture also. So moisture plus this dust, they form small laddu on the element screen between the pores. So when you form a laddu, it becomes a big food for the bacteria and fungus to grow. This is where the importance of filters are. Okay, let's go next slide. What happens? Already we are AHU has stopped. There is no airflow. Now these are the areas you see. When you merge both the figures, you see how the comparison is. There is no airflow. All the stagnant points are full of moisture and microbes inside the AHU chamber, above the false ceiling, below the false ceiling, near the furniture, everywhere. Now, all these microbes, they start multiplying fast with all the available resources. Now, microbes, they don't move on their own, either be virus or bacteria, or they don't move on their own. They need a carrier. Carrier can be air, but because of air force, they move from point A to point B, or water, or objects like from a cell phone or your laptop or a book or table. Human beings, animals, etc. They need a carrier. Without carrier, no microbes can move on their own. At least you need some air to push from point A to point B. And wherever there is a nutrient, it's not growing. Here is very important is, now you combine the AHU and the conditioned space, you can see the potential of how many microbes are likely to multiply over a period of time. Now, all these microbes can be COVID-19 or coronavirus or some, we don't know whatever it is, but they are there. They are potential resource for your disease. Here is where the importance is. So when you start the AHU without cleaning them, what will happen? All this will go into every nook and corner of the room, and first target is the weak human beings. That person has come recently jaundice or typhoid or some accident after recovery, something. So he may have a poor medical history in the recent past. If that fellow has a poor medical history in the recent past, he or she will be the first person to get the disease. It can be asthma, it can be COVID or anything. We don't know because all these microbes are unknown. The next, please. Now, one more example is here. See what happens is we have a conditioned space and we have AHU. It doesn't have any duct at all. Directly, we have a opening on the roof of the room or close to the roof of the room, which pulls the air from the conditioned space. Now, this AHU room itself is totally a big source of microbial growth because you might have seen in most of these such of installations, especially in monsoon, the AHU room is most of times wet and slippery because of excessive moisture being condensed inside the AHU room. Now, when somebody goes into this room for cleaning purpose, he or she is prone to more attack of these microbes. So you are able to, can you go back please? Okay. No, back. Yeah. See, both are identical. Here we have a duct going to the room and coming from the room. And back, next, see. Very good. And here we have direct return from the room. Both applications are possible. Either way, the concentration of microbes is very, very high in both the cases. Now, in this condition, when you switch on the AHU, in this current day, now in this condition, if you switch on the AHU, some area may be dry, some area may be partly wet, mixture of both the cases. So whichever area is dry, the first thing is all this dust and microbes will jump from the duct into the room. Okay, next please. Now cleaning of filters is very, very, very important. Generally we have 20 micron, 10 micron and some case 5 micron also. We have two types of filters, synthetic washable and some are media not washable. If you're having a non-washable media type filter, please discard them and put new one. If you're having a washable filters, then we can wash them with detergent solution. Now you have to look into what type of filter is put in your AHUs. It's a very subjective term. So you have to get the catalog from the filter manufacturer, what is supplied in the past, and externally should be replaced if it's media type, and if it is washable, see the condition of the filter, amount of damages. If damages are too high, better don't buy them, put them new. Next, please. Now, how to clean the filters? That's a very tricky situation. Remove all the filters from the AHU, from the duct path, wherever. If HEPA is if you're having a hospital, you have HEPA, please remove HEPA also from the ceiling. Now, as I told you a few minutes back, we are talking about washable filters. Soak the filters in normal soap solution, maybe Surf Excel or Ariel or whichever detergent you have, for half an hour, 45 minutes. Gently hand clean them, soft plastic brush, even old toothbrush is okay. Don't put very hard pressure on the filters because the filter will get spoiled. If you use wire brush, then wire brush can also, please stay there. If you apply wire pressure, wire brush will also damage the filter. Remove the filters, dip them in clean water for a few minutes. Just like you're washing clothes in a house, you dip them in a soap solution bucket of water, scrub them, and so put one more bucket of water, clean water, and dry them. Similarly, leave them dry for natural ventilation. Don't forcibly use some hot media to dry them. Next. Now, after you dry the filter, there will be little of dust sitting here and there. Use normal single phase hand blower. This will be good enough to remove the dust settle in the filter element. Do not use diesel, kerosene, petrol, or thinner or similar flammable solvents to clean. All these solvents have a thin oil film base. What will happen when you think of putting kerosene or petrol? Since it's oily, the oil stains cannot be removed. This oil will attract dust very fast and form one more scale of fresh dust on the filter. So using this diesel or kerosene is not at all advisable. Simple is water. Now, some people may use, why don't think use a compressed jar? Compressed jar used filter is very, very dangerous because normally the filter is designed for 500 fpm velocity. An average compressed jar is approximately 6 times 3000 fpm velocity. Now, we don't know what is the particle coming out of the compressed jar tube. Plus, what are the flying dust in the air, we don't know. When you give a high pressure compressed air on the filter media, very high velocity, it will come and hit like a bullet on the filter media and rupture it. That means by doing so, you are damaging the filter. Instead of cleaning it, you are damaging the filter. Now, what will happen? This filter is damaged. On filter dye will go more and more into the purpose of filter is totally defeated. One more thing is, if you're giving high compressed air, what will happen? People have seen along the filter frame, there's a small glue which adhesive, which actually fixes the filter element with the filter frame. By doing this, the glue will also come out. I don't know how many people are in maintenance in this group. People have might open the filter AHU and seen most of the filters are away from the frame. There are bottle damage. I think you might have seen this. All this because you're using compressed air. Never use compressor for cleaning any filter. It is not advisable at all. Just imagine hitting like a bullet. Then when you get puncture, then it's by use of no use. Okay, next please. Now cleaning of AHUs. Drain the old condensate water if trapped in the coil side. Here you can use comfortably compressed air to push out the stagnant water. There's no problem at all. Then put a little of sodium hypochlorite solution. That is 1 into 100. That is 1 liter of hypochlorite in 100 liters of water in the U-trap and drain pipe to kill the bacteria, fungus, if any. Clean the inside surface with a wet cloth with sodium. Same solution, water you are pouring in the U-trap. Same solution. Take in a small container. Use a wet cloth and wipe the surfaces of all the interiors of the AHU chamber. While for some people may have allergy for sodium hypochlorite solution, please use safety gloves. Some people, one more thing is if the concentration is very high, the sodium hypochlorite releases some gas called chlorine. Mild trace of chlorine definitely will come. Some people may be allergic to this chlorine gas also. So all this you consider while using the sodium hypochlorite solution. You can use also spray gun to remove the sediments from the cooling coil, heating coil, water coilings you are having. It's a very safe method, but here concentration is very, very important. If higher concentration, if you think will clean better, it clean better, no harm, but it can cause high chlorine gas and people will feel nausea. Some giddiness can come for the people because of coming in contact with the chlorine gas coming from the sodium hypochlorite solution. So that precaution has to be taken by the operator person who is doing the cleaning work. Next, please. Now, as you are going to give a spray gun with cooling coil, please take all electrical parts like motor, limit switch, lamp, heater are all properly secured from water contact. If need be or if possible, remove the terminals and properly seal them to protect the water entry into the electrical points. Now, replace the weebles as I explained a few minutes back. After a long time, the weeble becomes very hard. To switch on the AHU, usually they break within a few weeks or few days also. So better way is to change all the weebles. This will be better so that it doesn't have any interruption. Now after cleaning the coil fins, remove the water from the AHU chamber. Please go. What happened? Can you go back? This is something gone back. After cleaning the coil, remove all the water collected in the AHU chamber. Clean the inside with dry cloth. We are going spray gun, So now there will be naturally some water accumulation inside the AHU chamber. Clean them with the dry cloth. Then open the chilled water cross across the coil. Drain the old water and close the drain wall. Check for any chilled water leakages in the coil, gasket, etc. Attend the leakage. Similarly for hot water also. If you're having a DX system, please check the DX gas pressure and quantity. If need be, please add little more gas. Next. Now, after doing all this, start the AHU without cooling coil and without filters. The reason being is, whatever the dust you trapped in the duct, they'll come back to the AHU. If put the filter on, what will happen? It will go and again choke the filter. The purpose of cleaning the filter will again be, you have to redo the cleaning, nothing else. So it's only just, to see that the entire thing is scattered everywhere and comes out very fast. Airflow will push all the settled dust and duct, and dust will fall into the conditioned space. Here is very, very important. While doing exercises, somebody should be allowed in the conditioned space to physically see. So that is some dead lizards may fall into the room or something like that. So somebody should go in and see for everything. Run this system for half an hour or so, repeatedly 5, 6, 10, 12 times, so that the entire thing is flushed out very well. And people are moving in the conditioned area just to do normal housekeeping like sweeping job or mopping job like that. Something falling from the duct should be removed. It can be anything. During this period, keep all doors and windows or the conditioned space open. The reason being is, the AHU will have limited capacity to expel all the air because it is recycling mode. And fresh air quantum is very, very less. Now, how do you address it? The only way is keep all the doors and windows open for the exercise is done. So the old stale air keeps on pushing out automatically because of the AHU force. If you have toilet and pantry in the same conditioned space, it would be better to keep the switch on the exhaust fans for some time so that the expel of old air is also faster. So all this, there's no time it should be done 3 hours or 4 hours or 5 hours. And nobody can validate it to check how many microbes are there, how many viruses are there, or how many bad. It's not possible at all. It's only an exercise to see that old stale air as much as possible removed out from the system. The cleaning and cleansing, both are different. Cleaning means wiping out. Cleansing means expelling. So both are important. So we are only cleansing and cleaning the exercises. Okay. Next, please. I told you, it may take 1 full day or even 2-3 days. How many AHUs are having? How many manpower you are having? How many floors you are having? It all depends. Yeah, the person has to assess. Many of you must be doing AMC with your different clients. So you can evaluate how much time it will take. So when your client want to take possession of the premises after lockdown, upfront you should convey them this activity you have to do. This will be the time required for this cleaning activity. This much resource required, and water payment terms also may discuss up to you. Okay, so that the system is done well. Some precautions has to be taken. All these things, please ensure disengage the BMS system. Suppose if it is BMS system, first thing disengage BMS. Okay, and put everything in manual mode. In manual mode, you can, as and when required, switch on off n number of times. Don't do in auto mode, because in auto mode, you don't know what will go on when. What set points, if you're keeping the AHU door open, somebody is checking the belt, it goes automatically for on. And the person may injure by hand or something by sticking into the belt. So avoid that. Proper LTCT procedure. When cleaning AHU sodium chloride, please proper P already discussed. Adequate ventilation is must. Please. See, if the AHU is kept in a small room, directly return duct from the confined space. Here the possibility of chlorine gas coming out is very high, and the person may fall difficulty in using sodium hypochlorite solution. So here is where the critical, we have to take the importance of the safety of the person cleaning the AHU also. So if possible, put a small exhaust fan so that the stale air from the HU room is also expelled. So, and sodium hypochlorite, if you buy from the manufacturer, there's a MSDS and safety manual published by the supplier. He gives some recommendation, skin allergy or smell and so many things, contact with eye or contact with mouth and like that. So you have to take precaution. So the working person who is attending the job should not get affected by this sodium chloride solution. This is very, very important, and a responsibility of the owner who is engaging the people to do this work. Next, please. Cleaning on continue. We have chilled water, hot water, condenser water system. Chilled water cycle. Since the water is stored for a long time, it can form its own scale. It can form its own microbial growth also. Although they do not come in direct contact with the premises, but what happens is, suppose there is a chilled water line passing above the false ceiling and a small gasket leaking after some time, because once you stop the chilled water, it gains temperature and expands. When it expands, it also expands the flange, it also expands the bolt, nut, gaskets, everything. They come to ambient temperature. From 7 degree, they come to 34 degree or 34 degree. It expands. When it expands, there is thermal stress developed on all the flange joints also. It's very, very important. So what happens is, when you switch on system, you will not know where the water is dripping from where. So it's better to inspect all these things. And water, chilled water trapped in the system, when it gives it droplets, it will also cause a source for infection, because already you have microbes and other things in the area. Adding to this water droplets falling from the flange will promote the microbial growth, even mold everything, adding to problem to the system. Here's very, very important. So when you switch on the system after a long time, it's already in warm. From 7 degree, it has come to 34 degrees centigrade or so. Pipelines, vents, gasket, everything expanded because thermal expansion. When you switch on, again there's a contraction due to thermal stress. What will happen? Leakages will increase. They will not come down because they lost they're from elastic. They're all still elastic material. So by low temperature they shrink, and higher temperature they expand. This is the phenomena. So when you restart in the chilled water, don't blindly restart. Please ensure the chilled water system is drained off, filled with new water, and tighten all the flanges wherever accessible. If accessible not there, can't do anything, but where accessible, please discard the insulation, tighten them, put them back. Then if already somebody is having chill water dosing chemical in their factory or office, call the agency and restart the dosing facility, because old chemical may not be applicable for the new system, because the old water was already a property, saturated property. The already chemical was dosed and saturation point. By wearing a new water, the saturation point has to be re-established for new water. And same for hot water circuit, and same for condenser. Condenser water circuit is very, very tough to understand. Some people have the cooling tower on the roof. Some people have on the ground floor somewhere near the parking area, like that. If it is near the parking area and all, then you can see frogs and other things will be definitely in the cooling tower sump. So remove all the dead animals, clean them, and put new water. And if in the roof, probably some birds may have fallen into it and something like that. Either way, all these are causing concerns. So please remove all the dead animals and water, add fresh water, and restart the dosing of the system also. Because the cycle of concentration has to be maintained in the cooling tower. I think some people are assuming what is COC. COC is nothing but the hardness level to be maintained in the cooling water. TDS, you call TDS. Suppose fresh water is 100 TDS, and you have having a cycle of concentration of 4 times, that means at any given part of time, the TDS should be 400. That is 4 times COC, cycle of concentration. This is a separate chapter. We can discuss sometime in later also. So already the old water was having a controlled cycle of concentration, and some dosing was already in place by the AIC. Now, when you are doing a new water, it has to start from fresh. That means initially cycle of concentration is 0. You have to gradually build up to 3 or 4 what was maintained in the previous times also. So this is also very, very important. Next, please. Now, all these things we have been talking of only AHOs. However, these conditions or mechanism don't fit for split AC, and VRV system is multiple cassettes or ductable windows or high wall or whatever you type of other conventional systems you have. The reason being is we don't have any pressurized circulation of air. In AHU, we have pressurized circulation of air, but these are all almost low pressure, doesn't have any proper pressurized circulation of air. Here, the problem is very, very erratic. The condensation is uncontrollable. You don't know where the condensation is there, in the drain tray or in the false ceiling, below false ceiling. It needs a lot of patience to address these concerns. It's not as simple and better as compared to AHOs. In the VRVs, yes, we don't have very much of things to do. Only thing is switch on the systems and leave it running, keep running for 5-6 hours. Even the time, keep all the doors and windows open. If you're having a exhaust fan like for pantry or bathrooms, please keep them on. There'll be little marginal draft of air which will expel the stale air, but this will not remove the microbes and other things to the similar extent expected from an AHO. Whatever the microbes and other things are trapped in the room will remain. Only thing is housekeeping is very, very important. Housekeeping put a very good effort to clean every nook and corner of the confined space so that whatever the trapped infection is removed. It may take 3 or 4 days. Since there is no air circulation, it's practically the challenge. Now people has to, it's only a mental satisfaction. Yes, I have cleaned the room. It's okay for me. I can start the business. That's all. But compared to AHU, here cleaning is very, very partial. In AHU, yes, we have got a forced circulation. We have got a mechanism to apply sodium hypochlorite and similar things to cleanse the system, to sanitize the system. Whereas in these things, we don't have such facilities. So we have to live with it. Only thing is that people should see that things are cleaned the best possible way. I think we are end of the session now. Yeah. I think everybody has understood the troubles and tasks involved in this. Maybe it is quite tough to express to the clients the requirements and the time taking for these exercises. But it's all what you say. In trouble times, we have to show our performance. Then only we can be leaving a mark. Otherwise, we cannot leave a mark. That's what I want to say. Anybody have any questions, any specific questions, can please put across. I'll be answering to the best of knowledge, whatever I have.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah, please.
Hello.
Yeah, tell me. I'm listening. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm listening. Yeah, I'm hearing. Yeah.
Yeah. Sir, for cleaning of filters, is there any chemical is required for split ACs?
See, for split AC, again, the filters, you can use sodium hypochlorite also. No problem. You can dip in them. But I don't know whether the media will withstand that water content or not. I'm not sure about that. Because in olden days, split AC had some washable filters. Even now in my own house, I have Onida AC, which is about 10 years old. The filters are washable. But currently, I don't know what type of filters people be. I recently saw in Daikin, they were not using washable filters. They were using something else, but they told it's not washable. It's only with some little air they have to clean, was saying. So it depends on what type of media is put in the system.
Or is soap water is enough or?
See, that's what I mean.
Cleaning-
If synthetic filter, soap water is enough, but soap water is not disinfectant.
Oh, oh,
Disinfectant is sodium hypochlorite, like for example, Lysol or Domex.
okay,
These are
okay,
disinfectants.
okay, okay. Thank you, thank you.
And any more, sir, please? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
I think
Any questions for anybody, please?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, yeah.
Yes, in case any infected person ventilation system is common in the office, what are the precautions we can take to avoid the spreading around the office?
See, first of all, let us understand, if you're having natural ventilation system, that itself will not allow the infection to spread. Infection spreads more in confined space rather than open space. Now, any building is a confined space, either a house or a office or is a confined space. Now, when you are having air conditioned system in a confined space, the moisture level, first thing, and second thing, you are recirculating the same air again and again and again. The concentration of the microbes increases over a period of time. A person coming with infection can spread the infection faster in a confined space with recycling air. That's why we say we should have higher pressure content. Suppose you're having only 1% of pressure, it's very, very negligible. If you're having 10% or 12% of pressure content, you are diluting the concentration of the infection in the room. Now, immunity of person A to person B varies. For example, Madras I, suppose one person has an office, definitely 5 people carry with him. Then automatically, after some time, it disappears. Same way, anything can happen.
yeah.
Any more questions, please? Hello?
Sir,
Hello?
one question from chat.
Yeah, please.
Hello.
Yeah, tell me, yeah, I'm listening, yeah.
So one question from chat, Mr. Madhubura asked,
Yeah.
how and what role do they play about air purifiers?
Okay. Air purifier. See, air
Yeah,
purifier.
he's asking.
Air purifier is a localized box. Okay.
Okay,
Now,
okay,
every localized box has got own capacity. Now, what is air purifier doing? It's pulling the air from the room, cleaning it, and throwing back into the room. It's not throwing it elsewhere. Now, there's a saturation life for the cartridge. Maybe 10 days or 15 days or whatever the saturation life for the cartridge.
Mm-hmm.
As long as cartridge is healthy,
Okay.
you have to replace it. If the cartridge expires, nothing may be done. The air purifiers are only temporary, but they cannot
Okay.
treat the whole volume of air. Suppose you're having a 5,000 square feet of room, and 5,000 square feet of room is very difficult to purify the whole air. It can be localized by small cabins, by 10 feet by 10 feet cabin, or like that, but not for the entire hall. You can opt for multiple air purifiers, but the data is not there to support whether the air purifier has significant role in purifying the air of the whole hall. There's no supporting data. And the cartridge has a life. If the cartridge life is gone, then it's only just a blur, that's all. Any
Mr.
more
Deepan?
questions? Yeah, please.
Hello, Mr. Deepan.
Hi, sir.
Hello, Deepan.
Hi, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. If anything, there is no questions, then let us conclude this. No.
Yes, sir. Please, if anybody have any questions, please step forward.
I think if it is not, you please give the vote
If
of
anybody
thanks.
has any questions, okay.
All the people clear what we discussed, or some doubts are there still in their mind? See, it may be very lot of difficulties to implement the system, but the people has to understand how it's even in the role and application of the office complex. It will be small, big, larger, whatever it is, and how many occupants are there. And first of all, we should be able to express the probable possible infections to the customers. Otherwise, you just cannot go in and tell, I want to do all these things. The customer should be educated first. These are the possible concerns which they should be taken care. You may have temperature scanning while coming into the office, or 1/3 the office staff, or whatever mechanisms devised by the government. But other than that, while restarting the system, these are the basic precautions. As much as possible, we should take care so that infection doesn't overnight multiply.
Yeah, you are correct, sir. You are correct.
So if anybody have any questions, please step forward, or else we'll just end up with this session. Anybody have any questions?
This is Suresh Babu.
Yeah.
Just wanted to understand the significance and the impact of the people who are traveling in the smaller car or so, while turning on the air conditioner. Is the risk is relatively low, or it's still high?
Okay. If I don't know how many people have noticed in the car, there's a small knob for venting. Okay.
Yeah.
Many people don't do the venting. So first of all, little mild for you. But if you do venting, suppose from Chennai to Bangalore, you're traveling by car, the 400 kilometers or so. All the 400 kilometers is not put in venting mode. At least initially for 10-15 kilometers, if you put in venting mode, the old stale air is removed, number one. Number two, the person, suppose traveling with you, doesn't know he is COVID positive. Doesn't know, but still you are at risk. He may be, he not be. Suppose you're suspecting he is having COVID positive. Better to, as and when required, please put it for venting mode for a few kilometers, then put normal. That changeover can be done. That's the only way. Otherwise, I would say if you can go without AC car, that will be best. If having an AC car, there's a small knob in the venting mode. You can go to the manual of your car fellow, maybe Toyota or whichever car you have. That will help you to put in the venting mode. It will be a little uncomfortable long journey, but it makes sense to remove the stale air.
Thank you so much. The session was great insight. Thank you so much again.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Yeah, tell me, hello. What?
Yeah, sir. After the session, History of Puducherry have channels in YouTube and Facebook. So we can upload this session completely to our YouTube channel. If you have anybody have any doubts, please visit our YouTube channel History of Puducherry to resume this presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Muraligan, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for giving opportunity. Thanks all of you for participants.
Thank you.
Nice, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, overall it was a very good presentation. We have very good. We have learned many about that restart, how it is going to help in future. Because in this current situation, so many people have gathered very interesting information from this site. And I want to personally thank all the 24 participants who have been listening to this interesting topic. Especially, I was personally want to thank the speaker, Mr. Murlikant sir, and Saravanan sir, Vijay Bhaskar sir, and Sanjil Kumar sir. Overall, I personally want to thank everybody. Hope we'll come up with the next good topic with the future. So it was personally, it was very thankful, sir. Thank you so much, sir, Murlikant sir.
Thank you, Deepak,
for
being
giving this an
thank
excellent
you.
opportunity.
Deepak, thank you being
you.
a program chair. Thank you for coordinating everything. Thank you. Thank you, Murli sir.
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
all
sir.
of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Have a
Thank you.
safe
Have a safe
life, all of you.
Thank you. Thank you.